Guys, I have stopped and started this video like 100 times because I don't know how to put words out. But I finished an illustration the other day. I'm sorry this video is starting off dark. It's because I'm about to pull out my iPad. But I finished this illustration the other day, and I have gotten the same questions multiple times. People asking me how it is that I get my illustrations to look nice on the internet, which is a very nice thing to say because I don't often feel like they do because I'm still learning. I learn something new every single time that I upload. But for those who are brand new beginners to watercolor and you're sitting at home and you're wondering how it is that other artists get their artwork online and they look nice, I have a couple of tips for you. I've got two tips. When I first started learning how to watercolor, I was the same way. I was like, what is it that they're doing? Why does my artwork look so dirty compared to other people? Not, you know, dark and dingy. They just don't look clean. And the reality is there's a lot of digital editing involved. So if you're a traditional artist and you're happy with the way you do things, then you continue doing you. Like I said, this is purely for those beginners who just want to know what it is they can do to make their art look nice. Do like a quick cleanup. And yeah, the reality is it's a lot of digital editing, even in traditional art. My first recommendation, first tip, is to get yourself a nice scanner. My scanner, I don't necessarily want to promote it because the thing is ancient. It's about 10 years old now. But a nice scanner will scan in your painting almost identical to how it looks in real life. Mine's like a Canon MX360. Like I said, it's like 10 years old, but it does an excellent job at scanning things in like I want it to be. I don't have to do any color editing to my scanned in images. It is what it is. It's almost print ready. And that's really the purpose of scanning, right? When we illustrate something, the idea is maybe we are going to replicate it somehow. We're either going to sell prints, we're going to sell merchandise. It needs to be print ready. Lots of people you'll see taking photos with a camera, and if you have a great camera set up, then you do you. But having a scanner is going to allow you to have like a print ready digital file already ready for print. But that's still not necessarily going to help you make things look nice for an online environment. So that goes into number 2, which is just basic cleanup. When you scan in artwork into the computer, the scanner is going to be very nice to you, and it's going to pick up every blemish, any dust or speck or paper texture. If you're doing art on like watercolor paper like I do, and the paper warps, the shadow of the paper can make your artwork look dirty. So you just kind of want to eliminate those blemishes. What you can do is zoom in really, really close. By the way, I'm using Procreate, but I also use Photoshop. I know that having a digital editing software is a bit of a expense, but it seems like it's more readily available than what it used to be back in yesteryear. When I was a baby artist, you know, in the early 2000s, it was very rare for an artist to have Photoshop or even a Wacom tablet. But now it seems like everybody has access to digital software. So that's why I'm being kind of meh about it. But I'm using Procreate, and I'm going to use Procreate to eliminate extra blemishes for just basic cleanup. This is a topic we can get really in-depth into. Zoom in really, really close to the blemish, what you want to eliminate. You can either pick your favorite brush tool, any brush tool, select a local color and just color over it and it's gone. Or my favorite, you can go to the clone tool. I think most programs have a clone tool. I know Photoshop does, Procreate does. But this is great for if you want to preserve the texture of the paper or the canvas, but you just want to get rid of something nearby. Anything within this circle, it's going to clone that and relocate it to a spot you want to cover. So I have this over here, and I just want to cover this blemish. And if I use a proper brush, and if I'm on the proper layer, there, it's gone. So just general blemish control is going to make your artwork look so much cleaner and crisper. You know, it's up to you as well if you want to keep the paper texture, but sometimes that can look messy. Here I didn't use washi tape for a nice border, but I can just clone all of this and get rid of that paper texture, and it looks cleaner. Another thing too is if it's just something simple. Say if you just did something like you just wanted to upload a sketch from your sketchbook. If the background is not important, if it's inconsequential, maybe it's just a white background, you didn't even do a background, try just cutting the background out and replacing it with a digital version. So like here I have this just plain blue background. Not important. It's got some blemishes in the paper texture. It just looks dark and dingy. What I usually like to do is I cut out my little figure and I add in a digital background. It's the same color of the original paint, but now it's just digitified. That's not a word, but I just made it up. And it just looks, again, so much cleaner and ready for posting on the internet. So that's another great thing to do. Again, digital editing is something that we can go into great detail about, but that's really my two recommendations: is get yourself a nice scanner, get yourself a digital editing tool, and erase those blemishes. Get rid of your background if you don't need it and replace it with a nice crisp digital one, and you're already ready to go. You are ready to post it on the internet. So this illustration that I did here, I'm on the wrong file, that's the finished one, but you can see I have many layers here. I kept the original background, but I added in like a digital gradient on top just to make the picture larger and look nicer on Instagram is all, and also to smooth out some inconsistencies with the gradient with the real paintbrush. So this one is actually mostly digital art, but I did leave the remnants of the original behind as well. And so that's really it. So I don't know if that makes people sad or happy to learn that a lot of probably their favorite artists are using Procreate or Photoshop to edit their artworks, but that's all that the secret is. It's not just traditional, it is a combo of both. It's really mixed media these days. So yeah, that's all. If you guys have any other questions, let me know. This is something we could talk forever about, but otherwise, thank you for watching.